Otherwise, there's a high risk that any remaining trees will fail and damage property or people.
Don't chop the pops.
Now, the conclusions I came to, I just say in hindsight, the Lombardy poplars are perhaps unsuitable trees to plant around a high usage car park.
About high usage town
It is
centre.
unfortunate there are so many trees the same age which have come to maturity at the same time. So the reasons I've given, there's a high risk of failure of the trees. For public safety, the trees need to be dealt with soon.
So is public safety
All of the Lombardy poplars need to be removed. So this may seem drastic, but failure to do so could result in a greater risk of failure of the remaining trees, which are exposed to winds they were previously sheltered from.
And what about all the animal life they support?
What about the trees in my garden?
So the recommendation is to fell all of the trees at the same time.
I also recommended that they're taken out all over Welwyn Hatfiel because there's nothing
Could you
to
define
different
high
from those
risk?
trees anywhere else throughout the borough.
Like the trees on Parkway, for example. Like the trees on Parkway, that are being monitored every 2 or 3 years. Why can you not implement the same strategy here?
Chairman, Mr. Chairman, should we have an analysis of risk?
Okay, thank you very much for Colin for that. Colin's now finished, and we're about to ask Claire to come along and give us an overview of the poplars, and also an overview of the planting plan, and the replanting plan, should I say. So that'll be our next step, and after that it'll be a general or specific. It'll be a specific question time directly afterwards.
Can you hear me? My name's Claire Lilly. Some of you already know me. I'm the louder. Okay. I'm one of the council's tree officers. I don't have direct responsibility at Stanbrook Park or for any of the trees in this area, but I have been asked to get involved with this project to oversee the works essentially, and oversee the planting that would happen following the trees being removed. We've tendered for the job and assessed the quotations and proposed a planting scheme. These poplars here are similar in some ways to the ones in the town. Obviously everyone's mentioning Parkway and Howardsgate that are very similar, but the ones in Parkway and Howardsgate do have a better rooting area, a better place to grow if you like. These ones are closer. The ones in the South Car Park have been topped, which the ones in Parkway haven't been. This sort of pruning does sort of quicken the decay within them, so that's one of the reasons they're different. Those trees, as you know, are being monitored. We've said that in the paper, and that's what they're being done. And we have had some fall of those as well. We had 2 in the town centre a couple of years ago. I don't know if anyone remembers that, falling straight across the town. So these trees do fail, and we do have others in the local area that we have removed. I've removed some in Valley Road, some may know of. I've removed some in Stanbrook Green Flats that you may know of. Well, I mean, I don't make the situation, I'm just dealing with what we have. The trees are ageing and we have to act upon that. So we have done some work in a similar way across the borough. This isn't a brand new concept, removing these poplars. So I've been asked to look at the replanting along with my colleague Anne MacDonald, who's a landscape architect, and we knew that obviously the site down here is fairly hostile, not just this evening. The planting area is quite hostile to planting, and so costs have been factored in for improving the soil area. We're proposed to take out all of the planting bed and replacing it with good soil, so that anything that we do plant will establish, because obviously planting straight back in where we take the poplars out wouldn't be very successful. The proposals are to create a mixed planting, it's still in the avenues obviously, because the planting beds will remain as they are, but a mixture of species, mainly native, partly to just vary what we have down here, and also so that we're never in the same position of having to replant the whole lot all over again. If we plant a mixture of species, if one doesn't take or a species doesn't take, we could perhaps move that species and the scheme will not be lost, and we could perhaps go on.
Sorry to be interrupted, but there's no detail. Will you be specific at some point?
As to how many trees going back in?
Absolutely.
I think the proposals were for about 500 or so, but I think that was increased with when it went to cabinet. 100? No. No.
150?
No. Trees.
Right, so not 100 or not 150?
150? No, I don't know where that number comes from at all. No. You do, yeah. It's not on any of the proposals that I've put forward, so I don't know about that. It won't be as many, obviously, because we don't want to plant as closely as these ones are, because we'll be in the same position, and there'll be different species that won't be able to grow in the same way, so they won't be as closely planted. You won't have as many going back in, but the planting beds will remain as the same as they are, just with a different mix. The size of the tree that will go in will vary depending on what we can have available. But the aim is to plant fairly mature, obviously to have an instant effect with some smaller growing younger trees that will establish quickly as well. So we've mixed it up. We have retained some Lombardy poplar in the future scheme, not in the same way as this, but more in the signature sets of 3 dotted throughout the car park, so that if you were standing at one end and looked across, you would see the signature line, but it wouldn't be obviously anywhere near as dense as this, and interplanted so they could come out in the future if need be, in a relatively short span of time, and replaced if necessary. In addition to the trees that are being planted, there will be hedging that will be planted at the base to provide sort of a screen between the car parks, between the rows rather, and that will be sort of hawthorn or hazel or something that would be suitable for the close proximity to cars and people. And obviously aftercare has been factored in, and watering and that sort of thing, and a percentage for any losses. Yes,
I have found that. It's actually a memo written by Matt MacDonald on the 10th of July.
Right. What does it say?
Unless anyone wants to sort of counter this, I understand that yes, 5 trees of various sizes, 100 trees total across both car parks, 8 trees at bigger sizes, 150 trees above about both car parks. Would someone care to comment?
I don't know what that number is for.
And MacDonald, July.
Yeah.
Would you like to comment, Anne? Sorry, I think it's relevant now. You told us 500. Sorry, you've got 100 or 150. Would you like to comment, Anne?
I've done the design on density, so I've done it on a 20-metre run where I have 8 large trees which have been multiplied up across the area, and that has been decided upon.
I don't get that. Is that 100 trees or 150?
It's 150.
Oh, and the 500 are from where?
Well, these are the large trees, which is divided up into semi-mature trees.
We just heard the figure 500 from, is it Chris? No, Claire, beg your pardon. We just heard the figure 500. You queried twice, and you said 500. You don't know where the figure of 100 or 150 has come from.
It's probably what you're looking at is the subdivision between sizes of tree, looking at the large trees, the smaller trees, and then the hedging trees throughout.
It's a really simple question.
No,
I will clarify that to you if you'd like to give me your name and contact.
Oh no, I think we should answer this now. We have the memo here. It's in your fair hands. Sorry, I think we should address that now.
Shouldn't you write the details before you came here tonight?
Would you like to read it? You'll give it back to me, won't you? Thank you very much. I think it's very important that we really know.
Could we ask what the other 400 are? Are they bushes? Shrubs?
No, it's a mixture of larger trees mixed in with smaller trees and hedging. The hedging is never factored into the number of trees that were done. That's hedging, small hedging.
Yes. Now I see what you have. You have something that was for decision that went to councillors. So one of them is for one decision for 100 trees, and the other was for 150, and they decided on the enhanced scheme of 150, but that is only of the larger sized trees. So on top of those will be the poplar, a river birch, and all the smaller...
Poplar were large trees, excuse me.
No.
I don't understand.
Large trees as going in. What we are doing is planting from the start semi-mature specimens, as well as much younger